Hello, everyone. Ron Aledo, ex-CIA contractor, once again here with a fast update. I'm going to talk today about the Ukrainian-Russia war. Okay, the war between the Russian Federation and the Ukraine, the borderlands. That's what Ukraine means, the borderlands. So it has been a few months since my last direct update. And right now I'm talking in the end of November 2023, 2023. And I want to officially state that from the military viewpoint, the Ukrainian offensive that began in during summer of 2023 was a complete disaster. I don't know if that sounds to you like a surprise or not, but obviously that is the reality. Even if CNN, even if ABC, CBS, PBS are not actually recognizing it, that is the truth. The truth is the Ukrainian offensive that, according to some misguided minds, like Lieutenant General Hodge, according to them and according to the Sky News, the Sky News people, I don't know, you have seen the Sky News crew that comes frequently in Great Britain, in England, to talk about the war, how it's going. So despite what they said, despite their propaganda, their misguided minds, no, the Ukrainian counteroffensive did not kick out the Russian army out of Crimea. The Ukrainian counteroffensive did not cut into the land corridor, the Russian land corridor from Russia until Crimea. They did not split it in half. The Ukrainian counteroffensive did not take back Mariupol. The Ukrainian counteroffensive actually did not take any big city or any big town. The Ukrainian counteroffensive had been a total and complete catastrophic failure, regardless and despite the propaganda, the brainwashing, the talking points that the PSYOPs officers, I'm sorry, not PSYOPs, the public affairs officers at the CIA, at the Pentagon, at the Department of State, the propaganda admiral, the propaganda admiral Kirby, PSYOPs operator at the National Security Council is saying, despite all that, despite all the blah blah that is coming out of the European Union and Germany and the United Kingdom, despite of that, the truth, the facts on the ground, facts, no propaganda, no brainwashing propaganda to the talking points to keep the naive minds happy. But the actual fact is that the Ukrainian counteroffensive has been a complete and total disaster. Over 70,000 casualties between dead and injured in the last 5 months. So you can do all the math by yourself. Hundreds of tanks and armored vehicles destroyed, thousands more of vehicles destroyed. That is what happened when you try an offensive, a counteroffensive, without a proper air force. That's what happened when you awake the Russian bear. And that is what the idiots in Washington, D.C., that's what the idiots in Brussels do not understand. They have awakened the Russian bear. Russia, a year and a half ago, while being a nuclear superpower with 6,000 nuclear weapons, hypersonic gliders, hypersonic intercontinental missiles with space gliders, etc. While a nuclear superpower, the conventional forces of Russia were not developed in an equal way with the very modern, very sophisticated, very highly technological capabilities of the United States. Russia, for many reasons, kept a peacetime military, conventional military, that was not in any way or form up to the standards of a great superpower, of a great nuclear superpower, that was in no way or form equal or equivalent of the great and mighty, powerful Soviet army in the mid-80s, let's say, and did not have that parity in the capabilities, the numbers, the equipment, etc. While a very powerful army, by any standard, it was not still there. Then the Western countries, they utilized their puppet, their marionette, to bleed Russia, to declare proxy war on Russia. They do not care about the marionette. They do not care about their puppet. They don't care. They care less about how hundreds of thousands of their puppets die, how hundreds of thousands of people get injured, casualties dead, how much the country itself of Ukraine get destroyed, back and bombed and destroyed to the Stone Age. They do not care at all. They only care, let's going to do a proxy war. Now we have a perfect puppet, so we can manipulate, and we can move. We're the great puppeteers. We're going to puppet. We're going to use our puppet to bleed Russia. And while they do this stupid, idiotic act, the only result is that they have awakened the monster. They have awakened the bear. The Russian military now is stronger than ever have been, ever since the dissolution of the Soviet Union. At no point since the 90s until now, 2023, has the Russian army been stronger, more capable, and is still growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. Why? First of all, the numbers. Yes, Russia is very aggressively moving the numbers, increasing the numbers of the Russian military. They are not only doing the mass recruitment of conscript they do every year, until I think it's 150, 160,000, but they have been promoting very aggressively the recruitment of volunteers, of former soldiers, of veterans, of new recruits, with a campaign of publicity, of increasing the reach of the military recruiters within the society, with the social media, with television, with radio, in the schools, in the universities. So they have been able to increase dramatically the number of volunteers. There was also the call in arms of 300,000 veterans, 300,000 people that already have military experience, that left the military, but they were recalled by the Russian president into active service again. By all means and by all terms, the Russian military is increasing its numbers anyway between 20 and 25,000 soldiers every month by month by month. So let's do the math. 20,000 soldiers every single month. So in 5 months, Russia will get 100,000 new soldiers. In 10 months, Russia is going to get 200,000 new soldiers. Obviously, they are all not into the front. They are doing logistical work. They are training. They are in the rear doing a preparation of the battlefield, of the logistics, etc. But those are troops that Russia has at its disposal, and they can use in any way that they want to use. So that is the very important fact that we are not looking. And it's not only the numbers, it's the industrial complex. The military industrial complex in Russia is on fire. It's working 24/7, producing new weapons, better weapons, improved weapons. I think Russia is producing anywhere between 15 and 20 new tanks every month, brand new. Russia is already accelerating for the production of the S-500. That is going to become the most advanced air defense artillery tool in the world. The 500 is coming to replace the 400, the S-400. That's coming closer. Russia is also refitting a lot of their old tanks, or the more older tanks of the T-80s. They are refitting and improving and putting new optics, new capabilities into them. Russia is far away from what the propaganda, Western propaganda, brainwashing propaganda saying short of missiles. They are producing missiles 24/7. They are increasing the number. Right now, as November, they haven't used missiles in months, but it's not because they are short of them. It's because during the next weeks, during the next month or two, when the winter is really, really bad in Ukraine, they are going to begin to use hundreds of these missiles on Ukraine to destroy the infrastructure of Ukraine, the electricity of Ukraine, all that infrastructure that serve the military industrial capabilities of Ukraine will be destroyed during the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be due to those accumulation of hundreds and hundreds of missiles. Some of the estimates said that Russia might have right now ready to use 1,000 missiles. Those are the conservative estimates. Some said that somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 missiles will come to be in use during the next couple months. Talking about December 2023, January, February 2024. So let's see. Also, the Russians are producing a lot of things that they didn't have at the start of the war, start of this special military operation, as they call it, back in February of 2022. They are producing now drones like never before. They took the models from Iran and they converted into a Russian model. They improve it. They are putting now night optics into that drones, and they are producing thousands of those drones that are very cheap to produce, that are very effective, have been proven very effective. Most important, the Russian Air Force is moving forward with new models, with new planes, with new capabilities, and a new doctrine. The old Russian doctrine was basically an air-to-air combat capability. Now it's an air-to-land. The planes are being designed and the pilots are being retrained so they can, instead of attack another air force, they will attack and destroy land forces on the ground. So that is a very important doctrinal change that is happened, that have improved dramatically the capabilities of the Russian Air Force during the last year and a half. So all these programs, instead of weakening Russia, that is what the idiots in Washington, D.C. and the idiots in Brussels wanted to do, all these have increased the capability, the military capability of Russia at extraordinary levels. Not only the doctrine, not only the new weapons, not only the new numbers, but also the political will is over there and is supported by a strong economic performance of the Russian state. The Russian state is not isolated. It's not an island. You cannot become, you cannot make the biggest country on earth with extraordinary, incredible amount of natural resources, the biggest land mass on earth. You cannot isolate a country like that. I mean, you cannot isolate small countries like North Korea, and they are still there after decades and decades of strong sanctions. Can you imagine what are you going to try to do with Russia? The Russia cooperation with China have dramatically increased. The Russia cooperation with India have dramatically increased. The economic output is strong and becoming stronger. The global South have sided with Russia, with a few exceptions, but it have mostly sided with Russia and are helping Russia in a trade, friendly trade environment. And they have been ignoring all the issues and all the pressures that they receive from some Western globalist countries. So that is the situation. It has been a catastrophic failure for Ukraine. They have dozens of thousands of casualties, thousands of destroyed vehicles, and now finally, after a year and a half, some countries are beginning to see the wisdom, the very, very clear wisdom, very strong wisdom of countries as Hungary, Viktor Orban's Hungary, and also the strong wisdom of former President Jair Bolsonaro, who that always have been supporting Russia from the very start, from the very beginning, and especially Orban is the defender of Europe, the defender of the Christian Europe, the sentinel of the West, if you want to call it. Orban has been very clear. What are you doing? Mexico can never beat the United States in a war. It's stupid. Mexico cannot beat the United States in a war. Why do you think that Ukraine can beat Russia in a war? It's stupid. It's illogical. It's nonsense. Even if we give Mexico hundreds, thousands of millions of dollars in weapons, still the United States is going to defeat Mexico. So the same, doesn't matter how many hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars you give Ukraine, Ukraine cannot defeat Russia. It's stupid. It's cruel. It's a cruel lie that you are putting on the people. It's like if I go to a little kid, they have dystrophia, muscular dystrophia, he's in a wheelchair, and I tell, hey, little kid, here, there's some magic candy. You can take this magic candy and you will see, you will be able to walk again. No, furthermore, you will be able to go to the Olympics and get some gold medals in field and track. You will become a world champion boxer. Take the little candy, the magic candy, little kid, and you will see how you walk again. That's cruelty. It's a cruel lie. And that is what the puppeteers, the warmongers, neocons in Washington, D.C. and Brussels have been doing to Ukraine. And not to the people, I mean, mostly to the people of Ukraine. The government, they are just their puppet. They do whatever they want with them. They are just the masters of the puppet. They are the puppeteers of absolute marionettes. They do whatever they want with them. But with the poor people of Ukraine, the civilians that are suffering a year and a half of war, that are going to get cold and this winter, that have over 300,000 casualties by now, that people is the one that really should concern us. That poor people caught in the middle of this stupid, nonsensical effort from the globalists, from the new secularist, former Christian West that are playing now with Ukraine. They are using Ukraine as their proxy, as their puppet, just to play and to do this proxy war. Russia is getting stronger. The offensive, the counteroffensive was a disaster. Russia is increasing its ISR capabilities. Russia launched satellites to the space in the last months. More satellites. Is increasing their planes that are able to see, are increasing their radars, increasing the capability with the ISR to see in real time all the movements of the Ukrainian army. And that has been also extremely important for the defense of the Russian army, for the defense that the Russian army have been using during the last months. That increased ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability of Russia of seeing in real time all the movement of the enemy. That ISR capability is extraordinary, have been extraordinarily helpful for the Russian defense. So it's a disaster. Time, the clock is there, is ticking for Zelensky and his regime. his puppet regime. And sooner or later, the people are beginning to understand that these proxy wars have been one of the greatest mistakes ever done by the secularist, former Christian West, the post-Christian West. These proxy wars have failed completely in all its objectives. They have made Russia stronger, more united, have increased the solidified the ties between Russia and China, between Russia and India. That right there is more than half of the population of the world. When you think about it, Russia, China, India, that's 50% of the population, or close to 50%, at least 45, something like that, percent of the world population. The Russian military is stronger. The people of Russia is united in this effort. They understand who they're really fighting, they're really fighting. The patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church have been very clear. Our mission, what our mission is. And I'm not talking about a cold military mission, let's going to conquer this town or let's going to conquer this area. He was talking about metaphysical terms of world history, of universal history. Look what the patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church have been saying. We are the Cartesian. We are stopping evil in a metaphysical way, from the universal history perspective, in complete accordance with Gaudium Spes, in complete accordance with the city of God of St. Augustine, in complete accordance and harmony of a speech of universal history of Bossuet. So that metaphysical vision that we Catholics have about the world, universal history, is something that is very present, very alive in the mind of the patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church. So that is something extremely important. I will recommend all of you to Google and see what the patriarch is saying about this war, what Russia's role and mission is from the metaphysical viewpoint. So that is where we are right now. We are in November, late November 2023. And at some point, I believe the Ukrainian military, regardless of the thousands of millions that they have been receiving from their puppeteers, is going to break. It's going to break, perhaps not tomorrow, perhaps not next week, but I think that sometime, perhaps during summer of 2024, the whole structure will come down. It's likely, perhaps I'm wrong, but it's very likely for what I am seeing. And I'm not talking about a complete military defeat. I'm talking about a possible coup. I'm talking about a revolt. I'm talking about soldiers that refuse to go to die to assure death. I'm talking about those internal structures that have been keeping the Kiev puppet regime on place since 2014. They might begin to crack soon. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. So that has been my update for late November 2023 about the Russian-Ukrainian war. Thank you very much. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Ron Aledo, XCI Contractor. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.